This is the Race Communiqué with Luke Durbridge, Tom Southam, and me, Mitch Docker. Brought to you exclusively by Training Peaks and our friends at MAP.
Before we get into it, guys, we better introduce the show. Of course, this is the Race Communiqué, and I am joined by my host, my co-host, Luke Durbridge, of course, from Jake Orlula, and Tom Southam from EF Easy Post, sports director, and Durbo is still pedaling, as you probably picked up just then. Southam is driving, he's turning the wheel, and I'm sitting back here getting slower, as we just discussed. Boys, welcome. Very
just
late
watching
intro.
that fitness number drop, Mitch, aren't you?
I was just thinking on that slow rider hat of yours, if you have like at the back, you just have like an option to change the number of like what your CTL is. We're talking about Training Peaks here. It's just like, you're just like a 39 at the back or.
I'm glad you brought it up because this is a Life in the Peloton production brought to you by our friends at MAP. But the Communiqué, the Race Communiqué is exclusively being brought to you, our partner. This is their second year in the Peloton, I guess, in the Life in the Peloton by Training Peaks. And look, Training Peaks is regarded as the gold standard when it comes to endurance training software for cyclists, triathletes, and runners. Well, if you've been watching the Winter Olympics, boys, we're getting into the Winter Olympics because know that many of these athletes were actually using Training Peaks to help them sort of go for their goals because of the use of the analytical tools in Training Peaks, the structured planning capabilities, and the integration of all the different devices. Winter Olympic athletes are using them. Like think of the cross-country skiers, even the downhill the downhill guys, the skimo. Did you see some of the skimo?
Wild.
Like I was at work.
I mean, you know what? I really got heavily involved in the finger skating and
what? The
figure skating.
Not finger skating.
Finger skating. Sorry, figure skating. Yeah. But like, I can't get around judging sports. Like, it blows my mind. I just can't. It frustrates the hell out of me. Anyway, I don't wonder if they were on Training Peaks. It's just like their coach just like ranked their session like
9.2.
2. How'd you feel like 4?
It doesn't matter. You don't need to be an Olympian to get the very best out of yourself. And Training Peaks is for the committed, regardless of your level. So with the season starting up, it's well and truly underway. It's time to build that all-important foundation and let Training Peaks be the tool that you use to build that foundation and build yourself up for success down the road, and even better with a coach. It's really good with Training Peaks because they've got a whole lot of metrics and you can start to get in it yourself. Obviously, you still need the coach, but this is something that I liked. I wasn't at the level of trying to coach myself, but I love trying to dip into and understand what I was doing out on the road and watch that CTL climb. What I'm talking about is the performance managing chart. They've got a thing called TSS, which is the training stress score. It's the normalized power plus the duration that you're out riding. That gives you a score of your ride. It's almost like how hard was your ride, the score of your ride, or your run, or your workout. They've got an intensity factor, the IF, which is normalized power divided by your FTP. So your functional threshold divided by your normalized power of the day. That gives you how hard the ride was or specific efforts. You've got your CTL, your chronic training load. So that's a 42 rolling average of your TSS. So TSS is training stress score. That is your fitness, how fit you are, that score. Then you've got your ATL, your acute training load, a 7-day rolling average of your TSS, which then sort of gives you how tired are you, how much work are you putting into it, your TSB, your training stress balance, and this is calculated from your fitness minus your fatigue. So those two that I talked about, which is going to give you a number which could be your form. So you put all those numbers. Once you start understanding those numbers, it's quite interesting. What they've released now to make things even better is the Analyze 360. Now we're getting even a step closer to being your own coach. You might be able to get to the level where you go, you know what, I don't even need a coach anymore. I might even start coaching Durbo or Southam. If they need one, you can start banking money because power, you can analyze your power second by second on a power curve, but then you can also then pull it all together. You can analyze your torque. It's got interval detection, so you don't have to press set out there. It'll pick up when you're doing intervals. And it's going to allow you to cross-examine the power, the heart rate, the torque. You can fully get into it, and you can actually buy into it, Durbo. I know you get into it yourself. you're not necessarily coaching yourself, but you are a numbers man. It does help when you're buying into the program, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I think everything you say there is the options on Training Peaks now have just gone through the roof. Obviously, when we started out, they didn't have that. And then now with the AI technology and the 360 and like just being able to put it all together, there's kind of no excuse with not arriving at your event at your best level, especially if you're using Training Peaks. So, yeah, for me, I like to get into it maybe a bit more like old school rather than just on feeling and things like that. But definitely all the options are there. Good example this week, I have normally do this UAE Paris-Nice week. And I went back and looked at last year and could just go into my comments, my thoughts, what I did, what I didn't. And I remember I arrived at Paris-Nice a little bit tired, so I overdid this week. So I just, tampered it just because I can go back over years and years and years and years of data. So that's great.
You were tired at Paris because of that ride you did in the crosswind on the last day of UAE Durbo.
Well, I only lasted one day in Paris anyway. It was like collarbone snap. So I was actually forgot about that. So I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even do Paris last year.
Lastly, you mentioned it there, Durbo. There is no excuse to not arrive at your goal because lastly, which is fully another great feature. We've spoken about it before. I just want to bring it up just before we sign off. Fully included with your Training Peaks premium subscription is Training Peaks Virtual, an online riding platform where Training Peaks Virtual is an effective training tool, realistic racing, and links back to your Training Peaks cycling workouts. Best of all, as I mentioned, that's fully included with your Training Peaks premium account subscription. No need to go out and buy another platform. It's all in one. So go across trainingpeaks.com/LITP to get a further 20% off your Training Peaks premium subscription. Guys, it's a bloody good deal. And we will be joining people a couple of times this year on the virtual to have a bit of a fun, maybe a bit of a race, and we'll go from there. Should we get into what's been going on?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, boys. Well, it is the early season and sometimes hard to keep track of the racing because there is a lot going on and not necessarily all the big races that you like to watch, but there is a lot of racing going on and I pretty much try to summarize things to who's going well and who's not. I want to start off with a big one. Well, a lot of people are talking about it across the interwebs and, maybe you guys are talking about it in the Peloton. Remco, he's found a new team. He led from the front, 6 victories, 3 at Mallorca, 2 at Valencia, but then UAE, what happened here? He started off, he's even got another victory there I forgot to mention, obviously the time trial at UAE. Things were looking on plan. All of a sudden, we get to the climbs and he starts to go out the back. He goes backwards. He was looking good on the climbs, confident, but then all of a sudden, next thing, the camera switches back. I don't know what's going on here. For me, it looked like it was awesome. Change, new colors, freshen things up, but then, hang on, we're back again. What's on the ground? What's the word, boys?
I mean, the way I saw it, it just like that new climb at UAE is pretty different to how it used to be before. They used to have Jebel Jais, which was Ghana got up there once. It's pretty consistent. That new climb got added in it, but we don't ever get the race route for UAE until 2-3 weeks before. It's pretty late. So I imagine his schedule was set. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, we're just throwing in a it was double-digit percentage for 7K or something. It was massive steep climb. And Del Toro had gone and looked at it, and I don't think anybody else had. No, it's pretty clear that Remco rode the wrong race tactically up there. He went way too hard at the start, and Del Toro, you could just see. Our focus on our guys is it doesn't matter where you start the climb at the bottom. You just need to get water over your head because you're in burning sunshine. And it's about cooling yourself and doing a 35-minute effort. And I think that went out the window, and maybe getting excited with the leader's jersey on, and then it doesn't explain Jebel her feet. The other summit finish, but the first one I think he definitely just rode it wrong and caught himself out a little bit. I don't know.
That's interesting you say that.
It's a bit like the last one is he's off GC then, there's not desperation's just not quite there.
Yep.
I wouldn't really look at that one, overanalyze that one too much, but I would think that UAE is such a different way of racing. if you would arrive at a climb at, these boys arrive at their climb at 180, 200 watts average, you know, and then it's just like, bam, absolute maximal 30-minute effort. And, you know, Remco is world-class one-day racer. And yes, we know that he doesn't go on the climbs with some of the world's best, but he's like still world-class climber. But actually, if you added a big crosswind day, a big load, he'd had those victories in Mallorca where they're like on all day and it's a hard, grippy race. I really think that UAE really suits someone who can just do that fresh effort and then just once off 30-minute effort. And then like someone like Plappy, for example, he suits him down the ground because he comes in the climb, he's fresh, he can just do world-class 30 minutes. There's not many guys better than him like that gap, or Del Toro or whatever. But I say for someone like Ben O'Connor, for example, it doesn't really suit him. He just needs like a grippy day over and over and over again. So then when you get to the final climb, look, the overall watts in the final climb might not be that impressive in terms of just like, but you still win the race because everyone's just on the limit. And I think, to be honest, I think that's sort of similar with Remco. Remco needed it to be just harder, you know, and it just wasn't hard enough. And then he got to the bottom of the climb and he went like this. His engine just went bang, bang, like limiter, and then went down, you know. But yeah.
I mean, he's won Liège, right? So it's like Liège.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's his sort of race. So
that's a great point. No one's talking about this, and I thought that'd be really interesting to bring up with you guys because look, from the exterior, the first thing I saw there was you underestimate the heat, how hot it is on those climbs. You can't see the gradient. You know, you read the gradient, but you don't take that into consideration when you're literally watching the race. You need to be there. It's so good to get that inside knowledge from you guys. Next thing I want to sort of pick up on, boys, is Scaroni and Astana. And look, they're taking the same tactic as they were. Scaroni picked up where he left off last year, winning. He won in Spain. He won a stage and the GC in Oman and the Green Jersey. He won up Green Mountain. Plus, since he's got back to Europe, he's got second in the Tour d'Alps. Team-wise, UAE well up on top. Astana sitting second. And Jayco Alula...
Ew.
Oh,
points.
They're in.
Points and ones that were in third. Oh my God.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I had to double check that on another website today. I was like, that's wrong. That's definitely wrong. They're flying. You boys, the boys in purple. Hello.
Ew.
It's great.
It is good.
Really good start to the year, boys. And look, Milan on fire. He's winning, first race of the season, he wins. He picks up another stage, 2 stages, and the green jersey at Alula Tour, but 3 stages and the green at UAE. We're going to talk about opening weekend coming because he, for me, is going to be definitely a pick for Kuurne-Brussels-Kuurne. Del Toro on fire, picking up where his leader left off at UAE. And
did you watch the climb, Mitch?
Yeah.
60 seconds out of the seat, like that was just...
Took the record, which they say was, I heard there was tailwind up there, but actually Yatesy had the previous record. It wasn't actually Pogacar. I didn't realize that.
It was like 40 seconds he took the record by.
Yeah.
He like 45 seconds or something. It's mental.
It's mental, but also puts Plappy's effort in perspective. That was an insane ride behind. And I couldn't see him. It was a typical Plappy ride too. Like I couldn't see him at all. And then all of a sudden I knew Plappy had finished second in the stage. I'm like, how's this even possible? And then he came from the clouds. But yes, that was an amazing ride. He's now sitting on 24 pro wins at age 22. So it was impressive. And look, I was thinking those boys going to UAE, they have the pressure on them, but they've got to be happy with that winning their own tour in such a massive way. Any word from being on the ground there, boys?
I was most impressed by how fast Tiberi was going, to be honest, because he was also faster than Yates. So, and on the first, it's been a while since he's popped up and done stuff like that. And I think,
especially in the heat too. Like, I don't know if he hasn't been renowned for like a long, hot climb. But before. I think he's going to. So I was chatting to Rod Ellingworth, who's obviously at Bahrain, works with him, and he's like, no, he's he's just having one like that moment in his career when all of the elements that just were like a little bit like this have like clicked. He's got everything going, and it's like I think this year you're going to see, because UAE is quite a good predictor of like GC guys. Like interestingly, this year I would say we had a weaker sprint field and a much stronger GC field than we've had in the past. The GC field was super deep,
sprint field wasn't that deep. And normally it's the other way around. You can be like, oh yeah, someone's from our team's going to roll into the top 10 by accident, but this year not. So I think it's a good indicator of like what we're going to see in the stage races in the future. So Tiberi, I think, is going to be more of a player than, I mean, he's been good, but now he's put it all together. I think he's going to be someone who's going to be around this season quite a bit.
But I reckon that also had an effect in the racing because we didn't have a stronger sprint field because there wasn't probably the wind for it. But even if there was the wind for it, there wasn't the squad for it. Like, for example, like we've had years where there's been like just no GC guy and you just do whatever you can to try and split it, you know, because you've got like 7 lead out guys. And you've had like 7 lead out guys on another team in Red Bull, and then there's another like on Trek, and everyone's just tried to split it in the crosswind. They're like real horny for it. But like now they have like, they only have,
is that a common use of term when you're on the bus? No one was horny today for it. Oh, geez, I'm horny for that, for the crosswind today. Boys, and the DS is getting up the front. Boys, how are we feeling? We're toey? Are we toey today, boys? I can't believe you pulled that up.
You want to talk about the crosswind? That's how they want to talk about it. But everyone has a GC guy, so everyone was conservative. Everyone was just like, open the road. Like, let the GC guy in. Like, AG2R had a really strong team, but they had Felix Gar. So they're just like Cess Boll and Bissinger and Dan Hauler, like, they're the guys you want to rip it in the crosswinds, but they've also got Felix Gar. So they're like, open the road, give him space, let's not split it. So they're just literally, there was every time, there's one moment where it was just like the flag was 30 Ks an hour. I'm thinking it's going to split out of this corner onto the highway. Just nothing happened.
Was Luke Rowe DS there?
No, Renshaw. That's probably why. He's like,
there you go.
That's soft.
That explains that. Well, speaking about crosswinds, boys, we're on the eve. Opening weekend. Here we go. It's happening. The racing is starting, finally. Get all that other rubbish out of the way. Belgium, I'm talking about. Omloop Nieuwsblad Kuurne-Brussels-Kuurne. It's happening. This weekend is the start of the Belgian racing. And look, I actually did a little dive, doesn't make sense, a little dive into the history of these races. I actually didn't think about this, but they're traditionally known as the winter races. It's not quite spring yet, and that's why they're known. That's why they're filthy. They're filthy races.
I believe it.
They're freezing cold. So it's the 81st edition of the Omloop Nieuwsblad, originally called Omloop van Vlaanderen, the Circuit of Flanders, and the name was too close to the Ronde. The organisation of the Ronde and Omloop van Vlaanderen had like this massive sort of fight about it back in 1947. So they had to change
with fists and stuff. Like actual fight.
It goes into a little bit of the Nazi stuff and
Anchorman stuff. Oh, I killed a guy. I'm gonna have to lay low for a while.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, I stabbed a man in the heart.
I saw that. Brick killed a guy. Did you throw a trident?
Yeah, there were horses and a man on fire, and I killed a guy with a trident.
Brick, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You should find yourself a safe house or a relative close by. Lay low for a while, because you're probably wanted for murder. I'm proud of you fellas. You all kept your head on a swivel, and that's what you gotta do when you find yourself in a vicious cockfight.
That escalated quickly.
You killed someone with a trident.
I saw that. That's where the name came from, Het Volk. The paper that sponsored it back in 1947, they changed it. They caved it. Yeah, Het Volk, exactly. Well, it's now Het Nieuwsblad, which is the same paper. Characterized by its shit weather. It's the opening Belgian cycling season. 56 Belgians have won the race. Boonen has never won it. Couldn't believe this. I was like, am I mistaken? Had to really go back through and double check this. Big Yogi's won it 2 times, most notably 2015 when he rolled Boonen and Nicky Terpstra and the Stein Vandenberg. Epic edition. If you haven't seen that, we're not going to go into that and unpack that. That is just worth a watch. That last 15K is just outrageous.
It's like a Nielsen Powerless Dwarsdorp. It was like a repeat, you know?
It's even better than that. Nielsen's was great, but Yogi Bear, he was chasing attacks down from like the king of the classics and Terpstra and so on and so forth. So look, that is this weekend. They call it the opening weekend because the following day is the Kuurne-Brussels-Kuurne, which is the 78th edition, where legends are born is their tagline. Not a bad tagline to have. Different to Omloop Nieuwsblad, Boonen holds the record for the most wins, which is early quiz. How many wins?
45 times.
Four.
Oh, Durbo. Close. It's 3. 3 wins. I thought it would have been more than that. 2010 marking the worst edition in the history of the race. Only 26 finishes, 195 starters. Last climb, that was an epic edition. Bobby Traxel won that.
Traxel won,
yeah, and our friend of the podcast, and Jez Hunt, was in the breakaway, got to the laps. There's 2 local circuits at the end, climbed off in a group of 6, never going to come back.
Oh, yeah.
And he just went, I'm out. I'm way too cold. The reason why they call it the Sprinters Classic is because the last climb is 50K from the finish. And then, like I said, they come in and do 2 laps. You know, they've had winners like Jakobsen, Groenewagens's won there, Sagan's won, Cavendish, and our old friend CJ Sutton won there back in the day. The only Aussie to win. It would have been a good quiz question, actually.
Yeah, big ride.
I spoiled it. But look, before we go into the favourites, because I've done a bit of a deep dive and we can talk about who we think is going to go really well there and who's not. One thing I want to quickly just break down is how this has changed. And I could be wrong because I thought it had changed a lot more until I went in and saw who was riding. And I'm like, oh, actually, this has sort of debunked my whole theory. I don't know if you remember, Durbo, back in 2010, 2011, 2012, back when we were racing just before you started, when you came into Peloton in 2012, Sky were kicking things off and they were trying to change the way they went to the classics. So they went up to Tenerife and did a training camp, altitude training camp, to prepare for the classics. It was difficult to find. In my memory, I thought they did really badly at those classics, but actually they still had one Antonio Fletcher who finished 1st, 2nd, and then 3rd, respectively, each year, 10, 11, and 12. But
Tough.
What I did, what I did notice, well, CJ also won in 2011. So look, they didn't go too bad. Stan was 3rd as well.
Pretty decent, actually.
That's a great theory, Mitch. Love it.
Maybe look up Jaco's results maybe for that opening weekend. That's probably better.
Cavendish.
We never went to altitude though.
But what I'm trying to understand here is, look, what I remember them saying is this isn't great. You know, we lost our power. We came down to this hot racing and, you know, everyone who had prepared at races, Qatar, other sort of grimy Provence, these races, they came into opening weekend and they were ready for the harshness of it. That's what the opening weekend's about. And I feel like maybe it's going to be a reality shock for the guys coming out of the desert races. And that's what they need before they go to the spring races. There's a necessity about this race. Well, that's my thought anyway. And I want to ask you both, maybe more so you, Durbo, has the preparation, I guess the importance of the opening weekend gone away a little bit and people are just like, yeah, you know what? I've still got Paris-Nice, I've still got Torino coming, opening weekend here or there. Because look, back in the day when I was racing, when the Boonens were around, it was like the ultimate. You had to go to opening weekend. Almost if you didn't go, you almost didn't get selected for your team. You felt a bit like left out. I don't know how my classics is going to happen without not doing opening weekend.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think Mads Pedersen is an example. He never does it. I mean, he's obviously injured at the moment, but he never does it. He always goes to Mallorca, takes a team there. They do a big training block. And I know that he's never done opening purely from just, I don't know, either it's too early to the big races. And Mads is one of those guys who generally hits his targets. Like he's winning always at least one classic throughout that period, always on the podium. He's probably one of the guys that, I'm not saying he's probably one of the last of the classic riders. Does that make sense? Like he can do everything, Mads Pedersen, that's for sure. But he is a really that's his niche, and he
traditionalist,
you know, and he hits it well. And he doesn't do opening. And I spoke to him about it maybe 2 years ago, and he said just there's a really high chance you're going to get sick because the weather's bad. There's a really chance you could crash because it's quite dangerous. So the team for Trek is like, okay, if we lose Mads Pedersen in opening weekend, or we won Kuurne-Brussels-Kuurne, and that was the only thing we got out of the Classics period, that would not be a success for us. So we're willing to take that risk and not do it. Michael Matthews has always been the same with us as well. He's never done it because we know San Remo is a big target for him. So I've known many examples where people don't do it, but I still don't think you only have a limited amount of, you might have 8 races through this whole block that you can get a chance to get a result in. And guys that are coming off some early season condition, early season form, I think it's a good opportunity to go and win a classic because, if you win Omloop, you won Kuurne, like you've won a Belgium Classic and no one will ever take that away from you. So I think it still presents a good opportunity, but it's not over. And I think people are like, if you miss opening weekend, it's not the end of the world. It's not like you're missing Flanders, but yeah.
Are you going?
No, I'm not.
Why?
I'm doing Paris-Nice. Well, no, I can still do both. Some guys do it, but no. Last 2 years I haven't done opening. Don't know why, but I also have just had pretty decent start to the year, 2 Down Under Nationals. And I think now with preparation and what we know, you really got to be ready to go and race, if not just to recover and your next opportunities around the corner. So, yeah, I'm actually happy not to be fair. So, yeah.
My question is, I had a couple of questions here. Why does it matter and why doesn't it matter? Why does it matter? And you've covered a little bit of that. Why doesn't it matter? You've covered a little bit of that. I think why does it matter is because it's good to set this tone of stress, the cold, the fight, the grime of coming out of pretty nice feeling races. You've been to Australia, you've been to UAE. I'm not going to say the actually intensity of the final isn't hard, but there's something different, as you know, when you go to the Belgian races. Doing a Paris-Nice will prepare you for that. Potentially not doing either of those races and you go straight into the first classic could be a serious Band-Aid ripoff. No?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
I agree. I think that's truth. I think we said that when we finished UAE. We're like, righto, boys, holidays are over. Let's go back to the real races. And they are just like nothing else, really. The neutral zone in Omloop and it's raining, is just like, you go over this bridge, like it's like 3 lanes, and then you narrow into underneath the railway pass there, and then you start, and they drop the flag. And I sort of said so Scott Sunderland is the Flanders Classic director, and he's also director for Cadel Evans' race. And I said when he popped his head out of the car to wave the flag, I got a bit of PTSD. So I said, like, when I saw him in Cadel's out his there ready to drop the flag to go, I sort of said to him, I said, oh, man, every time I see your head pop out of the car, I get a little bit of chills because I'm thinking like, oh, I'm going to see you in Omloop and he's just going to drop the flag. But yeah, no, they are iconic. And look, to be honest, they are exactly that. They are just like, you really rip the Band-Aid off. You're like, right, okay, in a month's time, where am I lacking? What am I not lacking? Have a little bit of prep. Change a few things, maybe not change a few things. But I'm looking forward to sitting on the couch watching it.
I'm going to just, before we talk about a couple of favourites, I'm going to quickly run you through the course and Durbo, I'll take you back down memory lane. If you've got no idea, if you've never been to Belgium, you're going to not know anything that I'm talking about. But look, they've made a change this year. I'm going to roll out some names. They're heading down Derb's Paardenstraat. Hit the Paardenstraat first, is all the same. Haarhoek first time up the Lieberg. From the Lieberg, they're going around the Eichenberg. So this is something very different. They haven't done this before. Well, not in the last few years. They used to just go around and do Langmunter, which is when they go and do the big loop. You're still doing that, but you got Eichenberg in there as well. But the Eichenberg has been fixed, as far as I know, Durbo, the last few years. So it's essentially just like rolling up a flat little stone driveway. They're going to go Haarhoek second time into Lieberg. This is a cobblestone sector that goes straight into a climb. Then they're going to hit the Eichenberg the second time, which is now the same as the other course. They've taken the Valkenberg out altogether, so they're not going down into Brakel and hitting the Valkenberg, going straight in the Eichenberg. Halleweg reverse. Think about this, Durbo. Coming in from the big road, taking a left into the Halleweg, halfway along the Halleweg, straight down left up the Wolvenberg. Very good. Then they've got 2 cobblestone sectors there.
They go to the Molenberg as well now after the Woolenberg?
Yep. 2 cobblestone sectors between. Molenberg, as you know, all important. Left-hand turn into the Molenberg. Short, steep climb. Then from there, they're heading back to Haarhoek, Lieberg, Beendries, then Ten Bosch. And then they've got this climb I've never heard of before called the Peikenberg. Then into the Mur and Bosberg. The Mur, the Bosberg, look, if anyone remembers back in the day, way back in the day, that's the way they used to finish the Tour of Flanders in Ninova.
I love what they did there. Like Flanders changed it and they're like, oh, actually, this is a really cool final. We'll have it. Thank you very much. And they've just
deep from that massive pub fight they had about the name.
Yeah.
He's like, long-term game. 40 years' time, I'm going to steal your finish.
Well, actually, now think about it. They're both run by Flanders Classics.
Yeah, true.
So they've been engulfed. So look, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a little quick rundown of the climbs. And Durbo, I could see your mind ticking. Oh yeah, the left into there. Oh yep, up there. It's fun. I ran through the course today in the fine-tooth comb, and I had a lot of fun going through the course. Favorites, so everyone can have a look out for the riders. I've made a star system. I've got 5 guys on 4 stars, and I've got reasons why. I've got Pidcock, 4 stars. First at what I've written here, what's his latest results? First at Ruta del Sol stage. 4 starts, 5th place. That's his best result, but he's in good shape. I feel like with the motivation of the team, he's going to come there. I don't think he can. He's not a 5-starer for me because I don't know if he can win, but he's going to be up there. Biniam Gamay, NSN, 2 wins to start the year. He's had 1 start and his best result is 55th place. So that's why he's sitting at 4th stars because he's in good shape. He's got the motivation with the new team. Paul Manier, quick step, first in Algarve, 1 start, finished 2nd. That was last year. So he's in good shape. He's a good rider. And Laporte is my last 4-star rider. In good shape, had a bad year last year. I think he's going to be back. 7 starts, best result 3rd in 2023. I've got some other riders right down to 2 stars, but boys, anyone who's you're thinking, anyone coming to mind from being in the racing?
Not from races I've done, Wellens. He's going.
Cool. Tim Wellens. Yep.
Finish suits him. But yeah.
Tim Wellens is my highlighted rider. UAE. He won the gravel race. Didn't even know about this race in Spain.
Jaén. That's a cool race. Yeah. It's a hard race.
Classica Jaén and 9 starts. Does anyone know his best position? 3rd, 2019. So look, Wellens is my picked rider. I've kept him at 4 stars because look, he's just strong, and I feel like this is a bit of an open field this year. Like you said, it's no Van Aert. Van Aert's coming back. He's actually amazingly going to be on the start line. Question whether Evenepoel's going to be there. At the moment, he's not on the start list. You've still got Jasper Philipsen. He's going to be there as well.
That's what I was going to mention.
You got Van Baal is going to be there. Trentin's in good shape.
Delee's not flying, is he?
Delee's riding. I've got him at 3 stars. Vacek,
he's not flying yet.
He's not flying, but Delee also, he's finished 2nd here, 2022, 3 starts, 2 times in the top 10 this year.
Is Van Aert back yet or not?
He's back. He's riding.
He's back. Yeah, okay.
Ben Turner, I reckon, could go well.
Turner, yep.
That's the thing with opening weekend is it like it has come back before, and it is like can be like a little bit of a sprint. You know what I mean? Like the group behind.
Who's the Italian guy from Quickstep who won that big sprint quite recently?
Yeah, Ballerini won. But he changed. Yeah, Ballerini won it one year. It was like a group of 30.
But Ballerini, he's on Astana now. So Astana's going with their tactic. They're going with Aaron Gate. Sorry, they've got Ballerini. They've got Bettiol. They've got guys who they've just finished top 15. I think Vacek's not a bad shout. He's finished 3rd in Valenciana, TT. He's a weapon. Plus, it's an open book there. The only other rider they really got is Scoins at Trek. Then you also got Red Bull. Pithy's never started here. He was pretty good at Aussie too. 4 top 10s in Australia, but hasn't raced since then.
I think if you think about the Mur, I think it will go on the Mur, but it just depends if it comes back or not. Like obviously it goes, the Molenberg is where the first split happens, and then there's that regrouping, and then normally you go like the Lieberg into that new climb where it blows up again. But then there's also quite a big regrouping from there till the Mer. And then you get there and the guys are doing their last lead outs or whatever. 2 or 3 guys go away on the Mer normally. And then because the climb after the Mer, Mossberg, is like, it's like headwind, big road, and then you go into the cobbles. It's really, really, really hard to stay alone if you got like 2 or 3 guys. So it makes it quite exciting. So you get to the top, and then from there, like the last couple of years, we've seen 1s and 2s finish for the victory, and then a sprint behind. So that's where I think Wellens, considering what he did in the gravel race, he just went solo 50K to go. It doesn't look like he's struggling to be caught. He won't get caught there, and so yeah, that's quite a good pick. He could be a 5-star for me.
Or him, or if like Astana should just put Scaroni in, and he'd just win. He'd just go on the Mer. See you later, boys. Game over.
What about Lamperti?
Luke could do could do a good race there. He's got a bit of experience over in Belgium. Obviously spent that time with Quick-Step. His form was pretty solid actually. He was 3rd on the first stage of Provence. We didn't quite catch the break in pretty shitty weather too. So I'd like to see Luke do well there. I think he can. So
He never started, but it's a good segue to Kuurne-Brussels-Kuurne because I think Luke has got a better shot in Kuurne, but he's actually not riding. Oh, yes, he is. He is riding, sorry. He's had 1 start there. You can probably confirm that for me, Southam, but Pro Cycling Stats said that he is starting.
I can't confirm anything at the minute. I don't think it is even confirmed.
Come on, Southam. Do it. Tell us.
Tell us.
Is Lamperti riding?
They won't tell me. I'm on the outside. I'm not in the cobbled clique.
I've got Philipsen at 5-star. He's 5 starts here. He won last year. Milan, though, at a close 4 stars because he's had 6 victories this year, 3 starts. He's finished 6th there before, which was last year. Brennan. Everyone keeps talking about Brennan. I didn't put Brennan in opening weekend in Omloop.
Should do.
I just think the experience card's going to play. I just think it's just if you've never ridden
KBK is a lot harder though than what it used to be too though. Like
no, I think he'll do well at KBK. I've given him 4 stars, but I don't think everyone's saying he's going to win Omloop. I just think it's more than just having the legs. You got to know what you're doing there. I could be well and truly proved wrong, but everyone's losing their mind about Brennan. He's going to win by 5 minutes, but I'm hoping for the old blokes that they can do something and they can play the experience card. Has some weight still in this peloton.
I'll call it now. It's not going to be a sprint. It's just going to be someone's going to win solo or a group of 3 or 4.
You're talking about KBK now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and look, the other riders that I thought were going to be good there is Gourmet will be good, Lamperti, Manier, Delis potentially if he backs up well, and Sturven. Like Sturven is so good at these races. We didn't mention him before. 10 stars, 10 times in the top 10. He's now at Quick-Step, so new lease of life. He was first
he's
here in
won Kuurne before as well?
He's won Kuurne. He's finished 2nd in 2017, so first in 2016, 2017. I know it was a little while ago, but, you know, they've got a mixed squad. They've got Van Baal, who's in good shape, but they've also got Lampard. They've got Manier, which we mentioned. So
I'm going to be super interested to see what Quick-Step do now because it's been really interesting to watch them at the start of the year. So far, they've already got a couple of wins with Manier and they've done some good lead outs, which they're always good at. But in the races I've been at, they've looked completely lost. Just sending guys down the road into breakaways. Like sort of left and right and like kind of without ever threatening the race. And I think obviously their goal is to put it together and be the classics team again, you know, with Dylan and like maybe all of these, like they've just sent riders out training, you know, in these breakaways rolling around that have got no chance, but it's make or break for them, I think. And I'm going to write a really good Substack about this very soon. So I'm not going to go into it too much, but it will be interesting to see what happens with them.
Boys, I've taken up 40 minutes. Let's move on. let's get into the opening weekend, as always.
Let's just call it. Me and Luke don't need to dial in anymore.
Nah, we're just guests anyway.
Thanks, boys.
Never forget it.
So what I thought I would talk about is much more interesting than opening weekend in Belgium. Maybe less so, but the races I'm doing this weekend are the Phone Ardèche Classic and the Phone Drôme Classic. And these races...
I've never heard of them. This is like Mitch saying the Vuelta's the best Grand Tour.
Come on. These races are they're much younger. They're like 15, 16 years old. They're both .pro races. But they are emerging as, in my opinion, an alternative opening weekend for the Ardennes and Climbers riders. So there's, I think, 12 World Tour teams on the start line. Like, it's a proper, last year we went there and the quality of the field outside of Emilia, I think was the highest quality non-World Tour field of the whole year.
But they're in France, aren't they?
In France, in Valence, they're both based on circuits that are, they're hilly, it's the same circuit as European Championships. If you remember the first one that Pog won on, is the same climb with the Val d'Enfer climb. It's like 3,500 meters climbing both days, 190k races. Weather can be, it can have, the first parts are pretty open. They can have side winds and stuff. And then you can have, you get some really good racing there. I've been looking at, obviously starting to look at the start lists. Got riders like Gregoire. You've got, I think Ayuso won one last year and Skelmoser won one last year. So it's like the real beginning for these guys for their season building towards the Ardennes. And it's like an alternative at this point. Like, you get this kind of split between the cobbled riders and the Ardennes or the Giro riders. So this is why, for example, I won't see or have much to do with all of what you've been speaking about, because I work in a different program. So I do Liège, Amstel, Flèche as my sort of biggest early season races. So I'll track from this race, then I'll do L'Aiguille, which is a similar sort of thing in Italy. And then basically the Tirreno or Paris-Nice, it's the same sort of options, probably with these guys with a preference for Tirreno because of like that little bit less intensity and stress around crosswinds. And you get the Mur stage there where you go through and like it's based around the climbs, and then into Basque Country, which is fantastic preparation with the climbs there, which leads you straight into the Ardennes. So this is like a whole different part of the peloton,
that's, I guess that's
in this direction.
I guess that's why EF sent me one year there. That was great.
Could you do those races?
Yeah, just went down, did Drome. That's great. Last year, 2021.
I reckon it'd be interesting to work out the money of the riders paid in this opening weekend versus the other. And I reckon I'm looking at the start list now. These are all the guys that get paid the big dogs to ride GC everywhere. Oh, yeah. Like this start list is insane. Just going from the leaders from all these teams. Like it's like looking at a Grand Tour field.
Yeah. I mean, you've got Serchas, you've got Bernal, you've got Lenny Martinez,
Christian there, the best rider
in the world, Christian Scaroni, Skelmoser, Jorgensen.
Young Christian's there, Gregoire.
We're sending Ben Healy his first race of the year. So
interesting.
Like really good races, and worth watching or worth at least following the results to get a clear picture as to what's gonna.
Do you think because obviously they're not raced in the same region, like the opening weekend is literally raced on the same roads on the same climbs. Do you think it's a really good representation of the kind of terrain you're going to face, or it's just literally about doing a cold race with the same type of riders and the same amount of altitude? Because look, the opening weekend, as I mentioned before, is ripping the Band-Aid off to get yourself ready to what Belgium has to offer. But if you're racing in a different country, is it still the same feel?
No, but so there's definitely things you see. It's like, okay, so I can watch how good, for example, how good Trek were at getting Skelmos in position onto a climb off a big road last year. Like, when we get to Amstel, which he eventually won, like these boys are going to be like the team that has because that's a different. It's a different group of riders to the ones you get in the cobbles. So you're always looking for like, okay, who's going to be a reference point? How are they going to move? Who's going to do what, where?
Depth in the team. Yeah.
Like who's going to have riders left after 3 climbs? Like how many and who? And that's what you see there is, you're right. It's not like, okay, we're going to see how we're going to go into this road or that road, because it's a completely different part of the world. But it does give us a picture, you know, it's like, oh, these guys are pretty horny when the wind's blowing, for example, Durbo, you know, and they might do that at an early point in Liège, or, you know.
Yeah, sounds so wrong, that.
That's how it's going to be from now on. We're going to use it.
Horny wins.
That's so wrong. Yeah, the fact that you brought that up means you've used it multiple times.
That's how people talk. It's just the lingo. I'm the guy with the link for you guys, the Pello. Like now Tom understands, that's what that means.
Yeah.
That's
what the riders have been talking about. Oh, shit.
Stop. Anyway, yeah, that's
that's great.
So yeah, keep your eyes open. It's a cracking weekend, and there's lots to see there for anyone who's going to do the Ardennes Classics.
I might actually watch it now after the review. I'm pretty excited. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, as long as it's not on the same. I mean, it's on the same time, but I mean, obviously watch opening weekend, then maybe watch the last 5K of your races. But that's fine. I can watch some of it.
Jake aren't riding it. I was going to say you could come and ride it, mate, but
no.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that, mate. I've experienced that firsthand. It's not pretty.
No, Clarkey won one of them back in the day. Clarkey won.
He won Drome.
Won Drome.
Yeah,
back in the day, in the rain, 2020.
He did too.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else, Southam?
That's about it for me. I've keeping it tight today.
Nice.
I like it. Yeah, I'll keep it tight, then we can get into this quiz as well.
Yeah, nice. I've got a new segment that I want to drop, so let's just get this out of the way, Durbo. Let's get some more in-bunch lingo happening in the PelotChat.
All right, horny means crosswinds. All right. All right, guys, it's PelotChat. Rocking in. I'm just going to do a little tech piece this week. Quick little wrap up of what's new in the Peloton. I haven't done one in a while. Just a few trends. I am going to start off with just a few little niches that's been happening. I've been noticing. Now, laces on your shoes, right? Now, I don't know about you boys, but obviously there's always been laces on shoes. They sort of maybe a few years back, maybe even still when you're in the Peloton, Mitch, a couple of people started bringing like an ultralight version and make laces, you know?
I had laces on my shoes. You know that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly as I'm saying. So, but I'm saying that now, that was still not like common. There was a few people who had laces, but it wasn't like common.
Only the cool cats had them.
Cool kids. You know, it was like kind of like, what are you trying to be, man? Like 1990s? Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Anyway, but now everyone has laces on their shoes and every version's bringing one. You know, they Nimble have one, Specialized have one, Bontrager have one. I think Shimano don't have one yet. But like we went from this like real tech piece with the BOA, you know, dialing up and it's very like complicated and like all this, you know, even pull and you can change your shoe tension throughout the race. And then all of a sudden the whole Peloton is just back to doing their laces up. Like it seems so strange, you know, like why is that the case? And
have you used laces?
I use laces only now. I'm a laces guy.
You're on the Nimble now, aren't you?
I'm on the Nimble, yeah, last 2 years. Little sponsor plug there. Cheers, boys. Thanks for that, Tom.
This podcast is not brought to you by Nimble.
Thanks, Nimble. Anyway, but aerodynamics actually has been a big factor into the laces. It seems strange, but the BOA on the side. Well, Tom,
do you cover your laces in like a little?
No, that's what I was going to get to. They have these little covers now that everyone wears over either their BOA or over their laces, so that the shoe is as streamlined as possible. It's this kind of like stretchy, like swimming cap material, maybe a little bit lighter. It's not so hot. And you look over the shoes and everyone's got every little, you know, sharp angle on their shoe, either a BOA or the laces, where the lace is even done up. and it's covered over their shoes. Everyone looks like they're wearing booties, but they're not wearing booties because it's too hot. And then, it's quite funny. This is little aerodynamic little touch. Yeah, you go and have a look at the shoes, and you'll think they're wearing booties everywhere. Uno X is a classic. Look at anyone on Uno X. And they have this like stretchy material that goes over the shoe, and it's just literally over that little part of your shoe.
Oh, so it's not over the toe. It's not like a velo toe.
No. Not a velo toe. So it's not hot, and you just run it over your boas or your laces or whatever, and the whole shoe looks like it's like nice and streamlined.
Wow, that is really inside knowledge, Durbo. Well done.
Yeah. Just keep an eye in the bunch, like on the opening weekend. If the weather's bad, they might actually have booties on, and a lot of guys have been wearing booties, I think, more and more, even when it's hot, because they are faster.
Do you have some rough data? Because everyone throws around numbers. What are people talking? We're talking like 8 watts.
Look, to be honest, 12, when it comes to the shoe, anything that moves, 100 watts, anything that moves, it's really, really hard to get some strong data on it. Like when I mean by move, but like a pedal stroke, it's really messy. So, there was theories even with like people doing time trials without booties because 1-2 watts or was something like potentially was there. So at a stationary, like if you're freewheeling, yes, it makes potentially a difference. But when you're moving, it's such a messy area, it's pretty tricky to work out. So look,
under a watt,
maybe a watt, 2-3 watts. People claim Aerosocks will give you 5, But look, it's possible because that is like up your calf. You see like those triathletes that wear just like pretty much their whole body covered
with an aero sock.
With an aero sock, it's like it is faster than skin, but it just looks so ridiculous. But this is like a little thing. I look at it, I'm like, what's the point? But if there's 2 or 3 watts and you feel faster, then what's the harm not to?
Is that reference still going around? It's faster than skin. Because that was a terminology was used once upon a time.
I don't know. Is that a condom ad or? I haven't heard that.
You're just trying to add to the horny thing here, Mitch. Just making stuff up.
We used to say that. Is it faster than skin? Because it's faster than skin. I'll cover it up.
Still sounds like a condom ad. Anyway, Mitch will leave you to that one. Weird. All right. TT positions. I've noticed at UAE and we had an Algarve TT as well. People are tending to shorten up their position. There was a point where they did this UCI ruling that you could go, if you were this certain height. Now there used to be you could go longer or less, and you get like a ranking like 1, 2, or 3, which you sort of get 80 mil, which is your length. You get 82, and then you can get 85, and that's the length of your extension, depending on how tall you are. But what I've noticed now, and some data coming out, that a lot of people are shortening up their positions. Like Tarling, if you see the arms are coming, rather than going out as long as possible, they're sort of coming up underneath them. Tarling, he's like got this little tuck with his head and his hands, and Remco also. Bars are getting shorter, and they're like almost like they're bringing their bars back underneath them so that their head and their hands are the same, hitting the wind. If you look at them, they're going a little bit lower. On a couple of these positions have changed, and they're sort of like rotating the body so the head and the hands are hitting the wind at the same time.
So essentially, you want to be a ball cutting through the air.
Exactly. And they're like rounding them. Saddle heights are going down a little bit as well. Obviously, we spoke about the last tech piece, this shortening of cranks, been a big trend over the last couple of years. But even then, I noticed again, like at UAE, like Pogacar, Remco's obviously your gold standard when it comes to talent trolling. So anything he does that changes, everyone's looking at it, because obviously it wins every single TT he starts. And Garner and Tarling are another prime example. If they do something, then the world of time trialing and aerodynamics, they go, what are they doing? And I just noticed that their aero bars are, these guys are tall, especially Garner and Tarling. These are tall guys, and their TT bars are shortening up a little bit. So there's good little.
Did you notice that yourself, or were people actually talking about that?
No, people are actually talking about it. Yeah. And like, I've had some data come out just from my sources that that's potentially not a bad option. So that's good. The other one I had was there's some few rules that you can't do. The UCI trying to somehow slow down cycling, which is not really working, but somehow they're trying to look like they're doing something at this point. 60 mil cannot be deeper than 60 mil on your road wheel now. Can't know that. Aero helmets, you can no longer cover the ear, and you have to have 3 holes in your helmet. So thank God EF don't have to roll around looking at Ben Healy in that helmet anymore, or Campanarts with no glasses on that filthy aero helmet. So I think that's been a great thing for just general cycling image.
Yeah,
not necessarily,
protecting the image, and that'll slow the peloton down, 4 or 5 kilometers an hour.
Once you put that third vent in, like the average speed is just going to drop with 3 vents. If there's 3 vents, there's no way you're going to be averaging 50.
I mean, everyone used summer helmets in UAE, Tom, and we averaged 51 k's an hour into Habel Hafid. But anyway,
53 for the first hour on the last day.
At one point, I didn't know if I was looking at the k's or the time. They were both running at the same time. For the first 25 minutes, I had 25k at 25 minutes, like 25:40 or something, and I was just like, which one's the distance? Which one's the? It's like I look it down 61 k's an hour, just like
headwind.
Yeah, headwind. Road bars. So 38 mil. We're talking the narrowest of the bar, and also 32. So with the trend to put your hands in with your hoods. 32 from inner to inner is your limit on that.
And they're checking they've got a jig, don't they, at the races?
A little special plastic, 3D printed. Yeah. Every day down under. That's quite cool. Yeah. So that's sort of like what's happening in terms of in the peloton at the moment of just like some rules that they started, some new trends I'm seeing. We had touched on how young people are winning these races of late, and I just would like to make a note that we've had all the 3 big races that we've had so far this year. Well, no, 3 not big races. Like this next block after Down Under, we've had Andalusia, Route du Sol, we had Algarve, and we also had UAE. 3 of them. 22 was Romeo, 22 was Del Toro, and 23 was Ayuso, and Sechaz 19 running second there. So look, it's a new era, and we haven't even had Poggi or Jonas start racing yet. So
how old are you,
guys?
How old are you, Durbo?
34.
Is this your 15th year?
Yep.
5 to go.
Yeah. Oh.
It's a credit to you, mate.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, cheers. Lots of suffering. Anyway, that's my PelotChat for today, boys.
Well, boys, actually, Durbo, that's a really good way to segue into a bit of a new segment, because there's some of those things you'd be like, this is something I thought would be fun to do. I've got some ideas because everyone's got different ideas about cycling and general stuff in life. And I thought we could throw some things out to you where, have you ever heard of this? Well, you guys would have, but this is for everyone out there. There's this thing that people do in Australia. Maybe it's around the world. I don't know. They do it in the UK, Southam?
No.
It's definitely an Australian thing where someone might ask you something like, hey, Mitch, you going to go to Durbo's party on Saturday? You'd be like, yeah. Nah, I don't think I'm going to go. So you start off with a yeah, but then with a no. So it's a way, I don't know why we do it, but so my idea is I'm going to ask you some things and you'll either give me a yeah if you think it's good, if it's a goer, or you'll give me a yeah, nah, I don't think so, boys. All right, we ready? Ready to play?
Let's play.
All right, let's start with a beer. Beers before 12 p.m., aka breakfast beers. Is that a yeah or a yeah, nah?
Yeah.
It's a yeah for you, Southam.
Yeah, nah.
Oh, Durbo. No beers before 12.
Well, it depends. If it's a Bucks party, yeah, but like, nah, Like not going to do that. I mean, maybe that's just to like refrain myself from drinking too much piss. That's probably what it is. You know, like set your own internal clock, like midday.
You have to wait till it clicks over 12.
Like, calm down, mate. It's 12. Yeah. There you go.
What about you, Southam? Is there any rules around different times that you may go, you know what, this is a certain time of year that I will allow myself to do a pre-12 beer, or if it just the situation presents itself?
Situation presents itself. I mean, you know, let's say you've been for a ride and you get back and it's 9:30 and someone says, do you want a beer? You just say, yeah. Why not? I'm not against that.
Go for a haircut at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or if you're at a barber and they just, if it's a free beer.
I never have beers at barbers because it's just like, do you want a beer full of hair? Or no thanks.
Should have been a good one. Beers at barber. Yeah, but the thing is at a barber, you're waiting so long. So
especially like, during a beard trim.
They try. No, I'm talking about the beer before you go up. I haven't gone to a barber in a long time, but the reason why they do the beers is to sweeten the deal on how long you've got to wait.
Even so.
Yeah. All right. Cycling then. Working the gate in a crosswind. What I mean by that is there's a crosswind going and there's one guy who gets a sit at the back who's working, who doesn't actually have to work but can get a sit at the back, and there's a working, you guys obviously know what I'm talking about, but I'm explaining for everyone, there's a working echelon and you're working the gate at the back. Is that a yeah or a yeah nah?
I say 100% yeah. If you get that spot, it's like, if you get that spot, chapeau. And good luck holding that spot. Like, I've had that spot for maybe 3 rotations in my life.
Well, because the guy in front of you is working. He just goes,
no, I'm working the gate now. And you're like, what do you mean? Like, I'm third gate now, fourth, fifth, bang, out the back. Fuck. You know, that's literally what happens. Luka Mezdek, ultimate gate worker. I don't reckon he ever moves from the gate. Like, somehow he manages to stay the gate. They're incredible, those riders.
You've got to be the right person for that.
Yeah.
So it's probably a yeah, nah, because I just couldn't do it, you know? So.
All right. In the same vein, as aka sitting on in Gruppetto.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. That
100%.
No, you got to pull through.
Mate, you don't ride Gruppetto these days. Every meathead wants to ride as hard as they want. Like, so hard for no reason. We make time cut by like 45 minutes. It's just like, no, if you want to ride like that, you ride the front, big fella. You know, if we're struggling to make time cut, definitely not sitting on. But if we're not struggling to make time cut and some Jonas Rickard's going to just fucking go for it.
Southam, did you spend as much time in Gruppetto back in the day, or even if you're watching it, were you advising your riders to sit on?
I've spent a lot of time behind the Gruppetto in a car, and like Durbo said, I cannot believe how fast they go. How fast, like it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
They were never in trouble of time cut, never,
no,
and it's just
nowhere near it. It's like you ride. Everyone rides. The only people that sit up do it with about 2Ks to go, and they've got literally 35 minutes to get in.
And then they make sure everyone's seen that they've sit up. You know, they're like, come across the line, unzipped, hands on the bars. Like, I just took that so easy. We're like 2K before, they're just like, no, it's 100% yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'd agree with Durbo.
All right. Drinking a Trappist beer from the bottle. I'm looking at you, Durbo. I'm looking straight at you. And you've done that.
So this
is a yeah, nah. Hard nah on that. And Durbo is a straight yeah. He just, if it's a beer and it's not even cold, he's just snapping it off. Oh, what is this? Oh, is this a West Fleetering? I didn't even know. I'm just sucking it out of the bottle.
I have never done that for a West Fleetering.
Do not lie. You've done that with Volvalicas. Aged Volvalicas.
Oh, I did not. Oh, man. You have a bloody... Don't forget anything you do. Jesus.
When it comes to that kind of sacrilegious stuff. All right.
Right.
Naked
I guess. Shame me and all my Belgian friends. You know, like, honestly,
I'll give you a couple more. Naked in the sauna.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're designed for, isn't it?
Yeah, unless it's illegal. Like, most places in Oz at a pool, you can't do that.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, geographically dependent.
Yeah, you sort of have to check the rules first. I think, like, just because you believe that that's how you should sauna doesn't mean it's allowed. Like the gym I go to, it's in the pool area, and like the kids' swimming pool is just there. Like, I understand why it's not allowed, and I don't do it there. So I'm not going to say nah.
Okay, I'm a strong on that one. Strong,
regardless.
If I can get away with it, yeah.
But like both Charlie and Andreas have like, so Andreas clearly works us is he's part Swedish and Charlie's Finnish, and whenever we go to a sauna in France or whatever, they get so cross because you can't be naked in it.
Yeah, that's me.
And they're like, it's disgusting. You're sweating into this stuff. It's not right. Get really cross about it. But obviously, kids.
It is a hard argument because you're like, I'm sweating into this stuff. It's like into my own clothes, which is like underwear, which is bugger all. But I'm right on there. Right on this. All right.
You never putting your jeans straight back over the top.
Do you remember? Do you remember?
Like, same gear, clothes back on.
Yeah.
No, go, Southam. Go.
No, I was going to go into the incident at the ice bath in the Tour Down Under.
Yeah. That was the same belief. I was in my dirty nicks. Haven't we talked about this story on the pod before?
I don't know if we have. Anyway, I'll leave that.
All right. All right, I'll bring up a bit of a racing one. Seeing the last one, we're on the eve of the opening weekend, and I think they've made it illegal now, but taking a shortcut in a race, AK Belgium.
Is it illegal now?
Yeah.
It's always been illegal.
I took a shortcut onto the Molenberg ones.
Oh, yeah, right.
Remember that? There was actually a great photo of you and I, because you're actually good and you're at the front of the race, and I was bad and I was at the back. And you were right up the front of the Molenberg. I think I pulled in, and they've now fenced it off. I watched it today, last year's edition. I'm like, oh, that shortcut's fenced off now. But you used to be able to cut through the forest there, and you'd pop out the 50 meters up the Molenberg, and you'd miss that whole left-hand turn into it. You could only do it if you were right at the back because, everyone else was racing for that corner. So you could pop through at the end, and I popped up halfway through. It was a great little trick. So, yeah, if you can do a little shortcut, I'm all about it. Durbo?
Yeah, sure. If you can
I would hard now that. That would make me so pissed off. 100%. Someone was taking a shortcut.
It was. I think it's a great photo. We're right next to each other. I'm like, got this face just like looking at you like, what? I thought I was in good position.
All right, boys. So that's a little segment. Send in your questions. Send in your nahs, things that you want us to hear, and see what we think that you think should be cleared up on this little segment. I haven't left much time for the quiz. Southern, have we got time for a little quiz?
I thought that was a quiz. Oh, shit. No, it wasn't.
No, I've got a little quiz. All
right, let's do it.
Going to do a Team UAE themed quiz because we've just been in the UAE. All right. So,
I haven't been there, but anyway, I'll work it out.
Me and Dubs were in a car park about 24 hours ago. We were stood in the car park talking after the race.
Yeah.
Right. So, which member of our pod team, our production team, thinks that I'm obsessed by the UAE team? Is it A, Ollie, B, Will, or C, Eleanor?
Ollie.
Ollie. Damn it.
And Will.
C, Eleanor.
It's Eleanor because she told me off because I've mentioned UAE too many times on the pod, she reckons. So that's why I'm gonna theme this quiz around UAE. This is for you, Eleanor. Right? Okay. So
is that 1 point to me at least? Oh, what?
No. We're gonna start at 0. So which former Italian team did UAE start as?
Lamprey.
Correct. It's one for Mitch.
I thought it was a multiple choice. That's why I waited.
No, it was way too easy to be multiple choice. Everyone knows that.
Right. Okay. In which season did they start?
As UAE or Lamprey?
As UAE.
2017. 14.
It's one for Durbo. 17. Correct.
How'd you know that?
How Durbo know it?
Bit of a stab in the dark.
A good one. In 2017, which position did they finish in the World Tour team rankings that they so famously won last year?
Oh, last.
Number. And I'll give it whoever's closest.
10th, halfway through.
16th.
15th. Give that one to you, Durbo. Who was 14th for a bonus point?
Jaco. EF.
Lamprey.
The same team, you wanker.
Visma.
Oh.
So both teams in 2017 were 14th and 15th in the World Tour. So
first and second after that. Yeah, right.
Times have changed.
Which one of these riders did not ride for UAE? Rui Costa, Giacomo Nizzolo, Filippo Ganna, Jasper Philipsen, or Yusuf Mizra?
Nizzolo.
Yeah, Nizzolo, yeah.
Correct.
Yes. Is that
Ganna
2
was
each?
there.
That's 2 each.
It's 2-2.
I would have said Philipsen, only that I read about him today. I was like, I forgot he rode for them.
Yeah, no, he won a stage of TDU for them.
They cracked the shits. Didn't he do something bad there? He was caused a crash or something, I remember.
Probably.
Let's unpack that.
Which year did they top the UCI World Rankings for the first time?
23.
I'll say 2 years ago, which is 24.
Mitch, 24.
Yes.
Feels like they've been top of the rankings forever, but it's only 2 years they've done it.
No.
Yes.
Right, dead easy one. Which team did they overtake last year for the record number of wins?
HCC.
Oh, yeah. Damn it.
3-3, boys. It's a good quiz. Team boss Mauro Ginetti in 1995 won which 2 classics back-to-back? And what was different about them? Bonus.
What was different about the races in terms of the way
First get the race.
Some Italian race, no doubt. Classics.
2 classics. I'll give you a clue in the same week.
Like Veneto and Lombardia.
No, I'm going to say Amstel and Flesh.
Close. He won Amstel and Liège.
Did he win Liège?
And what was different? You're not going to know.
Well, Amstel finished up the Kalberg and Liège up La Redoute, wasn't it?
No, they were the other way around. So it was
Liège first.
Liège and then Amstel. And he won Liège and then Amstel. Guy sat on him. Who's that? Italian guy sat on him. I'll give you a point for that. Italian guy, what's his name? Cassani sat on him for 50k and he outsprinted him anyway. So Mitch 4, Durbo 3. Last question. What was their UAE's first classic win and who won it?
Hershey won Liège, no?
No, he didn't. And he wasn't riding for them when he lost Liège and he was riding for somewhere. It's cobbled classic.
No idea.
UAE.
I can't think of who rode for him then. It wasn't Flanders. Was it E3?
2015 Ghent-Wevelgem, Alexander Christoph.
Oh, there you go.
Forgot even Christoph rode for him.
Mitch 4, Durbo 3. Well done,
Mitch wins. Good job.
Boys, it's been a big one. It's been a good one, though. Scared to say when the big races come. It's going to be a big 2-hour one.
Big 2 hours.
Boys, thanks once again to our major partner, MAP, but exclusive partner here, Training Peaks. Boys, this has been another great episode, and I look forward to chatting to you guys soon. I reckon an emergency episode is just around the corner.